Hi, I'm Janine from Purple Room Yoga, and today we're going to do a short little foam rolling routine to prepare the body for any type of sport or activity you'd like to do. There are short rollers that are, sort of a little easier to carry around with you. Sometimes they're bumpy, and these tend to be a little harder and good for firmer pressure. There's also the long rollers, which I like because they're a little more versatile, but really whichever roller you want is good. Also make sure to notice what you're wearing. You don't want anything with like big baggy shirts or anything that can get stuck under the roller. If you have long hair, I recommend pulling it back so you don't get yanked under the rollers. I've done both. So take your roller and we're going to start on our back. So you're going to bring the roller onto your back, bring your feet onto the floor, and you're just going to start to roll up and down your spine. And you might get some nice chiropractic adjustments as you do so. You're pressing your feet against the floor, holding your core, gives a little support, and just massage up and down the spine. And if you like, as you bring the roller up toward your upper body, you can reach your arms overhead. And as you reach forward, you can do a little crunch, activating the lower abdominals, coming up over your head, reaching over, and do a little crunch. And then bring your hips to the floor. Come to sit on the roller. You can lean back a little bit, cross the right ankle over the left knee, and lean to your right. We're just going to do a little bit of rolling of that right hip. And you can start in toward the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, and slowly roll out toward the outer hip. Just going back and forth. You'll find some good spots in there, no doubt. And you can go back and forth a few times. Make sure you're breathing. You can support with the hands on the floor, maybe the elbow, depending on what your body requires. And then make your way toward the outer hip. Oftentimes there's some good stuff in there. And then extend the right leg toward the end of your mat. You can stay on your hand or maybe lower to your elbow. For now, keep the left foot behind and roll just a few inches up and down, getting those outer glutes. And then bring the left foot in front of the right foot. Come a little more on your side. And again, get into those outer glutes a little more. So moving from glute maximus to medius, now we're minimus, just getting a few inches up and back. And then turning to face the roller, you're going to go about 45 degrees toward the roller. So you're still kind of on a diagonal. Get a little into that outer hip flexor, the TFL. Make sure you're breathing. Right now I'm using my toes to roll back and forth. I'm leaning on my arms. And then slowly turn to face the roller more and more. Getting a little more, trying hard to reach the psoas, but sometimes you can get in there a little bit. The hip flexors in the front of the hip. And I'm stopping. Here's my hip bone. I'm just moving a few inches below the hip bone. And now we'll do the other side. So coming onto your hips again, cross the right ankle over the, left ankle over the right knee and lean to the left and start to rock forward and back. All right, so you're not right on the back of the pelvis, you're just to the side. And you're starting to roll forward and back, making your way toward the outer hip and then going back toward the inner hip, toward the pelvis and a little back out. And if you find that good spot that gives you just a little bit deeper sensation, you can pause for a moment and breathe, maybe roll a little bit slower or a little bit smaller through that area. And then extend the left leg toward the end of your mat and come down maybe onto your elbow and roll sort of on that back diagonal of your hip. And then come to the side, bringing the right foot in front. And again, just rolling a few inches back and forth. And turning on toward the front, coming about 45 degrees from the roller, getting the outer hip flexors. Again, just about 3 or 4 inches forward and back, not too big. And when you're ready, turning to face the roller a little bit more. Getting a little bit more into those front hip flexors. Oftentimes we'll find some good spots, just a few inches. So the hip bone stays above the roller and the legs stay below the roller. Good. All right. Bringing your legs over the roller, we're gonna do a little hamstring rolling. So depending on what's available for your body, if you're sort of buff and you want to press the pants into the floor and roll both hamstrings at the same time, you can do that. Feel free. Sometimes if your hamstrings are super tight, this is a really good place to start, just because it's a little bit less pressure on the hamstrings just to get them moving. But then when you're ready, you can bring your left foot onto the floor, right leg over the roller, and just really lean into that right leg. Just keeping the toes pointing straight up so that you're not rolling in or out. The leg is vertical. If you want to add a little more weight, cross the ankle over the left ankle over right ankle and kind of roll forward and back, breathing into that hamstring sensation. And again, if you need to go slower, that's great. If you have a little more flexibility in your hamstrings, you can bring your left leg behind you and kind of roll forward and back that way. But that requires some hamstring flexibility. So if you don't have that, just do the other variations. This also allows you to work hands-free if that's what you need. And now as you're rolling, we're going to rotate the right thigh to the right and get a little more on those outer hamstrings. All right, so if you're here, you're rolling a little bit to the outer hamstrings, going back and forth. So sensation should be tolerable. You don't want it too intense, right? You can always bring one foot on the floor. And then turn the right leg to the left, getting those inner hamstrings, and maybe bringing your foot onto the leg so it's out of the way. Getting those inner hamstrings. Sometimes either the inner or the outer are more sensitive than the center. Good. Then give yourself a break. If your mat's all bunched up like mine, you can spread it out again. I find that the yoga mats tend to get bunched up when rolling. And we'll go on to the left leg. Reaching the left leg, rolling it forward and back, bringing the hands to the floor behind you. Again, keep the right foot on the floor or cross the ankle over the knee for a little, ankle over the ankle for a little more hamstring work. If you have the flexibility, you can bring the right foot behind you and roll forward and back, going all the way up to almost to the sit bone and then just before the knee so that you're not rolling on the sit bone itself. A lot of times when hamstrings are tight, you feel that sit bone sensation and people tend to roll the sit bones, but that really just pisses it off and you're not getting to the real problem, which is in the belly of the muscle. So wherever you are, rotate the left leg to the left. Maybe your ankle's crossed over, maybe your foot's on the floor, and roll the outer hamstrings, going back and forth. Make sure you're breathing, holding your core. And then when you're ready, roll to the right, getting those inner hamstrings, maybe moving that right leg out of the way a little bit. Beautiful. We're now going to get the adductors, which are the inner thigh muscles. And so you're going to drape your right knee over the roller. You're going to come down onto your elbows. And now your left knee can stay on the floor or kind of like a half plank, or tuck the left toes under and bring them off the floor for more of a full plank. So this is going to require some abdominal work, but if you want to just have a little support, keep that left knee down. And you're just going to roll to the right and roll to the left, moving through that whole inner right leg. And just let the right foot hang out to the right, knee is bent. Breathing into the inner thigh muscles. This is a good core workout as well, if you haven't noticed yet. Breathing in and breathing out. Just finding that nice roll through the adductors. And then you can switch to the other side, draping the left knee over. You can keep your right knee on the floor or tuck the toes under, more of a plank, and roll side to side. And again, you want to really hold your core. Have the movement come from the elbows, from that left leg rolling out and in. Make sure you're breathing. Nice. All right. Moving to the quads, the front of the legs. So you're going to come down onto your forearms. You're going to slide the roller sort of mid-thigh. And again, just like the hamstrings, you can either do two legs at the same time and roll forward and back, rolling all the way to the hips and just above the knee. You never want to roll over the kneecap. So you can stay here or you can do one leg at a time, bringing the left foot onto the floor and moving it a little bit out to the side. And then just roll the right quad forward and back. And the toes are pointing toward the floor, knee and toes pointing toward the floor to get the top. And then you can roll the right leg out to the right, externally rotate, getting a little bit toward the inner quads. And then my least favorite, turning the leg in, getting the outer quads. These tend to be a little more sensitive, maybe coming up onto your hands. You're not quite as leaned down into the quads. And if you want to slow down a little bit through those tough spots, feel free. If you want to just keep going fast, that's going to take the pressure off. And then let's do the other side. So left leg on, right leg out to the right, and just roll. Knee and toes are straight down. Again, make sure you're breathing. Allow the roller to move up and back, nice and smoothly. And then when you're ready, rotate the left thigh to the left, getting the inner quads. Make sure you're using those abdominals, shoulders out of the ears. Try not to collapse into the shoulders. Press the elbows into the floor. And then turn the left leg to the right, getting those outer quads. So unpleasant, but so good. You'll thank me in a little bit. Right now you might be cursing me, and that's okay. Find your breath, flowing forward and back. Excellent. All right. Coming onto your back. Now you're going to sit on the floor and you're just going to lay down so that the shoulder blades are resting across the roller, right? If you are someone who wears a bra, it's kind of where your bra strap is. If you are someone who doesn't wear a bra, then it's sort of right at the base of the shoulder blades. So shoulder blades are on the upside, the above side. And you can let your head rest into your hands. You're going to keep your hips on the floor, and then you're just going to allow your upper body to drop back. And it gives a nice little chest opening. Let the elbows drop out to the side. Maybe the head comes all the way to the floor. Maybe you have a block or a towel to rest your head on. Maybe you just rest your head in your hands. So just whatever feels good. Let the elbows drop open. You'll feel a nice opening through the abdominals, through the chest, through the shoulders. Just let the body lengthen. Feel the tailbone reaching forward. Maybe the knees stay bent. Maybe the legs fall open. Take a deep breath in. And a slow breath out. See if you can just relax into the gentle back bend. And again, place something under your head if you need a little support. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale. Pull the front ribs to the hips, coming up to sit. And you're going to spin the roller lengthwise. And you're going to sit on the roller with your hips. So here's where the longer roller is more useful. You can lie down and place your head and your hips on the roller. Reach the arms to the ceiling. And then let the arms open to the sides. And again, this is a really nice chest opener. This will undo all of the desk sitting that we tend to do, sitting, driving, slouching. And you can keep your feet on the floor for more stability. Or if you feel like you can balance, bring the soles of the feet together and just let the knees fall open. Feeling the thighs opening, feeling the chest opening. Just relaxing into a gentle stretch. Let the shoulders drop toward the floor on either side of the roller. If this is too intense for you, maybe place something underneath both arms, a towel or a block, just to give yourself a little support. Take another deep breath in. And a slow breath out. Feeling a sense of ease as you just melt into the roller. And you can stay here for as long as you like. And whenever you're ready, come on up to sit. You can roll over onto one side, bring a hip to the floor, and come on up. I hope that was really helpful. I hope you're raring to go with whatever sport you're about to do. Have a great day.